Let's talk about breaches in confidential information compliance policies or monitoring e-communications. This is a growing area for applying AI in the enterprise. And in this particular use case, what we see is the journey of models that predict whether a particular kind of communication is compliant with policies or needs to be investigated further. And as we know, this kinds of detection, the ability to enforce is really limited by how many false positives there are. So this is a great application of AI, but also challenging in the sense that we can't miss any, but we certainly don't want to create a lot of false positives either. So in this case, ModelOp Center really shepherds those models through the entire life cycle to be integrated into the overall AI approach to monitoring e-communications. First, models are created in various model factories and then given to ModelOp Center for deployment into production. Then they move into a automated champion challenger type arrangement using production data, so we can understand which is the better model for both reducing the false positives as well as ensuring that we're not missing any communications that have to be investigated further. And finally, the real-time scoring so that the response for e-communications is as fast as the communications themselves. It's no good if we flag something. It's often no good if we flag something, a long time after the e-communication has been sent out. And in the best case scenario, we want to get that as quickly as possible. So ModelOp Center both monitors and governs the overall process. The governance here is really important because we have to understand if a decision that infects employees is being made, that we know exactly how that model was created, exactly who approved it to go into production, exactly the kind of response time. And then the feedback from the compliance desk also needs to be clearly added to the historical data for labeling and other things. So this really is kind of a good example of model ops, the governance from a business perspective, approvals, all the way down to the lowest level of technical consideration when getting models into production in a complex system like a large enterprise's e-communication system. The deployment itself, the models that may be of various different types of AI technologies, OpenText, TensorFlow, XGBoost from a variety of different model factories and toolkits. The various points of enforcement for these compliance models could be in the cloud, could be on-prem. The continuous retraining and refreshing of the model needs to be done where the infrastructure and the data are available. And finally, we really need to be able to see exactly how this model was created, what its entire life cycle is, and also what it means in terms of interpretability and other.